Yeah.
What are you reading, Evelyn?
Okay. So what we're going to look at actually tonight, I've taken some pointers from a John Wheeler book called Clear in Your Heart, The Radiant Mirror of Self-Shining Awareness. And actually, I downloaded the book, which you can do from the internet. And, but before I go into those pointers, I just want to read a short quote by Nisargadatta from the book, The Ultimate Medicine, edited by Robert Powell. And I just want to read this short quote from Nisargadatta. He says, "You accept the body as your identity. Right here and now, drop your identity with the body and sit still. Just drop this body like a discarded garment. Drop also the identity with the name. And now you tell me about yourself. Whatever you are is most appropriate. That greatest principle that you are, about which you cannot give any information, but you are." Let me read it one more time.
Mm.
You accept the body as your identity. Right here and now, drop your identity with the body and sit still. Just drop this body like a discarded garment. Drop also the identity with the name. And now you tell me about yourself. Whatever you are is most appropriate. That greatest principle that you are, about which you cannot give any information, but you are. And this will lead me right into John Wheeler. These are some pointers from him. Before the next thought appears, you are present and aware. And that non-conceptual presence awareness is what you are, here and now. And anything else is an appearance in this. The separate I is a fiction, because there is no separate I standing apart from this innate awareness. If the I concept, which is the basis of all subsequent self-centered conceptualizing and suffering, is really fictitious, then the root of all suffering, seeking, and questioning is cut. This leaves you effortlessly and naturally as what you are, open, spacious, clear, being awareness, peace, completely untouched by any appearances. All appearances are only appearances of this. That is non-duality. There is no separation anywhere, anytime. Let your body and mind function freely without all the self-concern and identification. You did not create them, nor do you own them. You can't even control the life or activities of a single cell or a single hair on your head. You are not breathing or beating the heart. You are not causing thoughts to appear. You have no input into the millions of transactions and chemical activities going on in the body and brain every second. Leave the body and mind be to do what they already know how to do much better than you do, living and functioning in the world. Without your meddling and false identification, they may have some chance of living out their days in relative peace and quiet. If a concept revolving around a me arises, do not follow it, but have a look and see that the me to whom it refers is not present. You are non-conceptual, self-shining, ever fresh presence awareness. Just this and nothing else. There is nothing other than this. Consciousness emerges from the non-dual awareness. It is a mere flickering image and appearance, and yet the whole universe appears in that. Behind consciousness lies the immense infinity of the absolute, the dark source, utterly beyond conception, because it is non-dual. This is the pure awareness beyond consciousness. It is pure, unmanifested radiance or potential energy. Consciousness appears as a speck or flickering appearance in the absolute. When consciousness appears and the worlds and bodies are projected within it, there is no problem unless and until consciousness identifies with its objects. In this identification, the sense of individuality is born. At the core of the mind is the light of pure consciousness. At the core of consciousness is pure awareness, the non-dual absolute. The great ego turns out to be a lifeless jack-in-the-box. When you look inside, Jack is missing. When you look into the mind, all you find are a few thoughts, feelings, and perceptions. You do not find a defective, limited person. Only the space of pure knowing and being. That non-conceptual, ever fresh presence of awareness is what is being pointed to. Now you know you are that. That is the main point. All the suffering and seeking was only believing in a thought about someone who never existed. I'm wondering if I should stop at this point, and do you want to go over anything that we read here? Is there anything that that you have a comment about or a question about?
I'll read the last one again.
The last,
The one you just read.
the great ego turns out to be a lifeless jack-in-the-box. When you look inside, Jack is missing. When you look into the mind, all you find are a few thoughts, feelings, and perceptions. You do not find a defective, limited person, only the space of pure knowing and being. That non-conceptual, ever fresh presence of awareness is what is being pointed to. Now you know you are that. That is the main point. All the suffering and seeking was only believing in a thought about someone who never existed. I'll continue one more. The last concepts to fall away are often awakening and liberation. These are simply additional concepts. Most people involved in the spiritual pursuit are entirely intoxicated with such notions. Professional teachers are generally reluctant to point this out because it undermines the whole basis on which their reputation, livelihood, and function depend. Anyway, none of it has a whit to do with who you are and always have been. No awakening is needed to be what you are. Activities, states, and experiences all happen down the chain and have little relevance to your true nature. There is a tendency to get wrapped up in those things, but they are only appearances subsequent to your own presence. Even that sense of presence or consciousness, which equates with being alive, is a state or appearance on that which does not come and go. That is your true condition, which is prior to consciousness. All observations and comments by the mind are evanescent concepts with no substance, reality, or independent nature. They are mere appearances. The deeper reality being pointed to is innate, non-conceptual awareness itself. All concepts are being registered in that ever-present wakefulness. The negation of phenomena is only to take the focus off of appearance so that this innate presence of awareness can be recognized. When the notions of self and other are negated, the positive recognition of your nature of innate non-conceptual awareness is still necessary. Negation is a mental operation. Non-conceptual awareness lies entirely beyond the grasp of conceptual thought.
It can be difficult to really get a really deep, profound understanding of what's going on there, because when you're talking about, what you're really saying is that the content of your consciousness is where the problem is, because it's from there that the I is created and the me grows and you live your life through that I or me. And so when you're trying to figure out how to let go of that, there's a certain, I can sense in me a certain reluctance and almost fear that I will be nothing. What will remain is present awareness, but I can't know present awareness. The I can't know it.
No.
And I've never experienced not knowing the I, not being with the I, not translating through the I. So there's a little bit of a quandary there in I accept I'm present awareness, but in really accepting it at a different level, I don't know, that's not at an intellectual level, but really being comfortable with it. Seems like if I let go of that, then there's nothing. There's nothing to, I guess, and you can't verify present awareness. It's non-verifiable. It's what's there when conscious is not.
Yes. So you're saying there's a fear of letting go. But you see, that's from the point, that is being said from the point of the individual personality. It's saying intellectually, I accept, you said, that I fundamentally am presence awareness. But to recognize that means I have to empty the content of my consciousness. And there's a fear of doing that, because then what am I?
Right.
Well, Ugo, you said that the problem is with the content of consciousness, and Evelyn, you just said we have to empty the content of consciousness, but I don't know that's entirely accurate. I think what he's saying is there will be thoughts, there will be concepts. We don't know what thought will come next. It's the grabbing onto them and identifying with them.
Yes.
Claiming them as mine, so to speak.
Yes.
The content of my consciousness is not going to disappear.
Right. It's memory. You can't get rid of your memory.
Right. But it's when a thought comes up. You said in an earlier point that
the identification.
yeah, don't follow it. When the thought comes up, don't follow it.
That's a good point. That clears it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the disidentification comes in not following the thoughts and grabbing hold of them as mine and representing me. They're passing objects.
Right. Appearances.
Passing appearances, right.
Yeah, Evelyn, that's beautiful stuff, man. I just found that absolutely transcendent, you know. I just thought that was just, I was just totally, there was no separate self at that point. I was just listening to what you were saying. That's such a gift. Thank you so much for sharing that. Where are you reading, Evelyn, in this book?
Okay. And I have a few more pointers, but I don't want to overload.
Yeah.
Okay. What this is from, and you can get it on the internet.
Yeah, I'm looking at the book. I just don't know where it is in the book.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I think it starts on page 148 and it's called Pointers.
Do you have a chapter number?
No.
Oh, the book I have is looking like chapters.
Are you on the internet with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you just go, you can see the pages.
Oh yeah, okay. What page it is? I see.
148.
148. Man, that
And
was just absolutely
And it
perfect.
says pointers. Do you see that, Chip?
I don't yet, but
Okay, you'll see it. It's
What was the
one.
title of the Wheeler book again, please?
The book is called Clear in Your Heart, the radiant mirror of self-shining awareness.
I think I have that.
Oh, you're lucky that you've got it, because I think, yeah, I think when John was here with us, that was his latest book,
Yeah, neat,
and we never got it.
for some reason.
And now when I try to buy it, they don't even have it, or it's just so enormously expensive. But luckily and gratefully, it is available online, and you can download it and read it and just print out whatever pages.
You have it, Hugo?
Yep, I got it.
Good
Oh.
for you. Great. That's right. That's
Hold
it.
it up again, Hugo.
Yeah, that's the book.
Nice.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
Good for you. Great, thank you.
So
Yeah, well,
there's-
some of these books now on Amazon, they're like 150,
That's
160.
right, that's
Crazy,
That's right.
crazy. 148. Let me see.
Well, yeah, I don't know if it's one, yeah, I guess it's the same. I don't know, on the internet and in the actual book. I thought, I don't know, would you like me? I just have a few more.
Yeah,
pointers.
that was just so perfect. Like I said, I just was just transported.
Should I,
Yeah, whatever you want to read.
I don't
It's
know, maybe
great.
I should. Okay. Now I'm skipping around, mind you, but, okay, here. I'm on page 152. You have everything you need. You are what you are. All the ideas and experiences come up in natural presence awareness, whatever pointer may be used. And you are that fully and completely here and now. I do not like to draw things out and lead anyone to believe it is anything more than this. The seeker in anything she feels she might attain or experience are really mythical, as there is no seeker apart from this non-conceptual knowing and being. Awakening paths, stages, gurus, or whatever are simply notions coming and going in the space of being awareness. If you look around within this, you cannot find yourself as some separate person apart from it. So you are that. The mind is an appearance in what you are. The real question is, what are you? All the other questions can wait until that fundamental question is resolved. The other questions just lead you into more and more conceptual thought. But the question, who am I, takes you beyond conceptual thought. As is often pointed out, the answer is not in the mind. The answer is in the non-conceptual recognition of your true nature, which exists with or without the mind and its questions. And now a questioner asks a question. This is the questioner. Through grace, I have the full intellectual grasp of the teachings of both Nisargadatta Maharaj and Ramana Maharshi. But what can be done now? My facts are straight, but the ultimate understanding still eludes me. John, where is this me? Drop the doubt, drop the question, and where are you right now? You are that simple, non-conceptual awareness now and ever. You are the missing 10th man asking me, where is the 10th man? What can I say? You are being hoodwinked by the belief in the existence of the separate I, as well as the continued faith in the doubts of the mind. See this, and all is over. Why follow or allow the doubt when you are present and aware as truth itself? See your true position. Then you will laugh at these doubts and questions. The answer is not in the mind. You are present before the mind appears. Each and every problem is simply a concept in the mind about a me that is separate and incomplete. We appear to suffer as long as interest continues in the thoughts. It is nothing more or less than this. The antidote is a very clear sense of your true nature. Your real being is not a separate, defective person apart from reality. As the non-dual traditions have told us, you are the supreme reality itself. The interest and belief in the self-centered concepts in the mind springs from a lack of clear understanding of who and what you are. There is no substitute for direct and clear self-knowledge. The belief in the me is sustained by a belief in the reality or existence of the separate me. That belief endures because we assume the I entity is present. You can address this by a direct investigation of the assumed reality of the I. Where is this defective separate person? Have you ever found it? Other than a few thoughts, perceptions, and feelings passing in awareness, what else is present? There is no magic bullet except for returning to the fundamental points and making sure they are clear, not as concepts or ideas for mental agreement, but as direct knowing based on your own immediate first-hand experience. Start by getting to know what you are. You exist. That is beyond doubt. What are you? Are you a thought, a feeling, a person, a body? The point is to clarify who and what you are. There is no use looking for states and experiences if the basic point is not clear. If you clarify your identity, all the answers come in that. If the basic identity is not clear, we will keep looking for our identity in some definition or concept in the mind and be fascinated by those thoughts and images. You are not in the mind. You are the one to whom the mind appears. The mind comes and goes before you. So what are you? The one who is aware of the mind? If you simply pause all thoughts and concepts, pause all images and reference points of yourself, the mental representation of yourself, where are you right now? Can you deny your existence? Is that existence inert? Or do you find that it is fully alert and cognizant? This alert and undeniable being is what is being pointed to as your real nature. It is not simply consciousness, but that undeniable presence that knows the fact of being conscious. Consciousness itself comes and goes as an experience for you. You are the non-conceptual awareness that knows the coming and going of consciousness. See that this is what you are here and now. Everything the mind says about you is simply a fabrication in conceptual thought about an imagined entity standing outside and apart from non-dual awareness. There is no such thing. At some point, you will see that you have been playing a game of hide and seek, pretending to be a separate someone apart from reality. But the whole show is a passing phase, appearing and disappearing in your abiding nature, which has been shining in plain view the whole time. So consciousness is all our content. Consciousness is this whole universe. Consciousness is all, but it is appearing in the absolute of presence awareness.
But if consciousness is memory, then from the perspective of this entity, my consciousness is whatever experiences this entity has had and is recorded in memory. I'm sure there's not, so the universe has a lot of consciousness, and you can say there is a universal consciousness, but I don't know if I'm available for that universal consciousness. I mean, it seems to me that the consciousness that I can deal with, or that I can be present to, comes from experiences that this body and mind has had. Or is there something I'm not seeing or
Yes,
understanding?
but but what is it that knows that? That's what he's
Right.
asking here.
Yes.
What is it that knows that memory? What
Right.
is it that knows those experiences?
Right.
The pains, the sorrows, the joys. What is it that knows all that?
It's the I. The I knows all of that. And I guess what we're trying to say is that when you disassociate yourself, the body, the mind being what you are, then what's left is that present awareness, which makes the consciousness and everything else available. Without it, the I would be, there's no sense. It wouldn't be. There would be no discussion.
When you say I, what are you meaning?
When I say I mean whatever the thought is when I have a thought. Whatever, how the hell do I say it? All I am is nothing but thoughts.
How do you know
Image of
this?
myself. What?
How do you know this? How do you
Because
know?
it keeps changing all the time.
How do you know it keeps changing?
Because that's the experience I'm having. That
How
the
do
I
you
is
know
having.
this? How do you know? Can you know any of this if there was no awareness?
No. You know it through awareness.
So then
But I've come to accept that when there is an experience, and the experience is initially witnessed by present awareness. That's what makes it aware. That's what makes the experience an experience. But I've come to learn, or in my growing up, I've come to learn that I've got to translate that thought. It's not enough to have an experience and leave it go with that, die to the experience, if you will. I have an experience, and then my little brain is going to now define what it is. And it's in that process that the I is created.
I'm not sure I understand.
I have an experience, and I verbalize the experience. It's the verbalization of the experience that is creating the I, because most of the time, what I see through the I, through the me, it's distorted by the conditioning that I've grown up in. So that creates that kind of crazy image of what I am, which, is, I think I'm losing my thought here. I want to shut up for a minute.
Yeah.
I think stay with the knowing that you are, that you exist. Maybe just stay with that. And, remember we started this, I just read that short paragraph by Nisargadatta. Let me read it again. You accept the body as your identity. Right here and now, drop your identity with the body and sit still. Just drop this body like a discarded garment. Drop also the identity with the name, right? So we sit still, no body and no name. And now you tell me about yourself. What are you? No body, no name. Whatever you are is most appropriate. That greatest principle that you are, about which you cannot give any information, but you are. You can't give any information because it's not an object. It's what you are. So, or John said here, pause all thoughts, pause all concepts, and just be. Pause all images, pause all memories. And yet you still are. Maybe that's what we should end with. Maybe this is the important meditation. Because you are not in the mind. Pause the mind. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
you.
you.
See you
Thank
next-
you.
Thank you.
Soon we'll see you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Wonderful.
Bye.
Bye.
Buonasera.
That was a treat. Buonasera. Ciao.
Bye.